There is only one, the one source of our strength and power and potential. Spirit, continue to expand the infinite potential that is within. That I follow the path of the Spirit and grow in that infinite knowledge that for myself as well as all here, that we strive to be with the one. For this knowledge and understanding, I expand my knowledge and strength that is all good and wondrous, and continue to grow in that knowledge and love. For all that there is, all that there will be, I say thank you. Thank you for this wondrous opportunity of life, love that is around me and within me as I continue to reflect that goodness that is all present all the time and all around. I release this treatment, knowing it is so, that being one with Spirit, I continue to expand in love and grow in the infinite knowledge and infinite potential that is within me. And I grow in wondrous knowledge. And for all this I say, and so it is. And now, Reverend Bob will be up here, but Reverend Judith is in Southern California visiting family. So we have Bob all to ourselves today. And he will now discuss living an infinite potential.
I want to stop paying you. What a wonderful week. I woke up this morning and I had no voice because I have a cold. And I realize there's a power for good in the universe, and it doesn't help with colds. It takes about 7 days. Isn't it amazing? I've watched people have treatments done for them and cancer go away. I've seen heart attacks that later on didn't look like heart attacks. I've seen stroke victims recover in weeks. A cold takes 7 days, whether you treat or not. Yeah. I think I have discovered Satan. Can you turn this up just a little bit? Just a touch? Thanks. So anyway, enough about that. So I've been struggling with being this week without Judith, and she called me today to say if she were here, I'd be doing the talk because she now has what I had, and she is miserable. And I said, "Don't come home, you know. If you can't cook, you know, no, no, yeah. This is a good group." Scary, but really good. Thank you for that, because she would appreciate that. And believe it or not, I do as much cooking as she does, which is next to as little as we possibly can. So today we're talking about the infinite possibility. But I love the line in the song, make up with your mind. Now that's like an interesting twist to that, make up with your mind. It could have been a mistake. It could be make up your mind. But I think one of the things we're going to have to do very often in order to get in touch with the infinite possibility is to make up with our mind. See, some of us haven't had our mind in our favor for quite a long time. We haven't been friends with it. And it's because it's really been running kind of rampant with, what'd you do that for? Who do you think you are? Excuse me? And those words are so powerful but not empowering. And they steal from us the mind that we have that is infinite possibility. Now, I've struggled with this every day. As you know, in addition to being the pastor here, I'm also an artist. And that means I open up my canvas and I look at it, and it looks back at me and it says, so what are you going to do, Bob? It better be good. I can't do good. I can just do the best I can. That's not good enough. So I make a couple of lines, and then the lines say, not very good. What happened? And I have to make up with my mind that it's okay to have what's next occur when it's ready to occur, and when I'm ready to hear it, when I'm ready to discover it. How about you? Are you always ready? How many of you are sure you only brought half the canvas because you were afraid you might have to draw? and you wanted to be able to fill it up real quick and say there's not enough room. Some of us are carefully carrying not enough room so that we'll never have to move out into the expansiveness of possibility. And we don't even realize we're doing it. I've had very few people tell me, God, I wished I'd lived smaller. I wish I'd done a lot less in my life. I wish I had loved just a few fewer people. I wished I'd had a lot less money. You see, the truth is when you ask people what they would like, it's usually more of almost everything. Would you like to have been a little less spiritual? No. Would it have been okay with you had you become so spiritually developed that you could see the future in the present and all possibilities? Whoa. Yeah, I'd like that. So why don't you make up with your mind and see if that's a possibility? How would you like to make up with your mind? So the first thing I'm going to suggest that I hadn't thought of before I sat down, before I was sitting over there listening to this incredible music, was maybe we need to practice some forgiveness. I started doing a meditation process, which has been really empowering. And I found myself starting off with, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And I wondered, who was I talking to? And I was talking to me. I'm sorry. I have let me down a lot of times. And I have made up a very good reason for having done that. The reasons often have been even better than the reasons for succeeding. And so I had to start out my meditation with, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. See, there's a process here that has to happen, and it's making it up with your mind. And I love you. Now, that's often very difficult to say after I'm sorry. I'm sorry implies something could have been done better. Please forgive me means that I don't necessarily have the power to do this on my own. I love you is an extraordinary leap after those two statements. And yet that's a necessary next step. I love you. And you have to say it until you mean it. You have to say it until it gets to you to the point where you start to feel loved. Because what I'm finding happening to people on the planet is that most of them don't believe in the love that they would like to have. And they can't get it because of that belief. They have this notion, I'm not all that bad. Please love me a lot. What do you mean? I could love you a lot if you were a lot. I can't love you very much if you're not very much. I can only love, according to Ernest Holmes, to the degree that you will allow in your consciousness that possibility. I cannot love you more than the love you're willing to allow yourself in your life. You can't have a greater idea than the small arena that you've decided to play in. One of the things I discovered a while back when I bought a bigger house than I thought I needed was how quickly all the room got filled and how easily it was to use all that space. Some of us have been accustomed to not very much space in consciousness and have decided that must be our lot. It is not your lot. Your lot is to have as big a lot as you would like, to have everything in it that you would like. And not because it's the idea of getting more. It's the idea of living with the idea that it doesn't mean anything to have a lot or a little. Just have as much as you want. It's okay. It doesn't mean you're a good person because you have a big house. It doesn't mean you're not a good person if you don't. How big would you like it to be? And why don't you experiment in your belief about you with having it all? Because infinite possibility lies in every moment. So if we are willing to make up with our mind that we could have it all, then we can simply choose what do we want to have show up first. Now, some of us will make some pretty poor choices. You ever notice that about yourself?